Welcome back, JAGs. Today on JAG TV, we have updates on graduation, prom, and a lot more. This is JAG TV. The first week of May is Teacher Appreciation Week. And don't forget, the last day of school is Friday, May 28th, so turn in all late work before then. Facing a pause in their usual annual events, Student Council has used their time to write a book about kindness. Student Council members went to 2 elementary campuses last week to present their finished book to some classes. Like many things this past year, the class of 2021's graduation ceremony may look a little different from previous years. Eduardo talked to Mr. Comalander to find out more.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this year's senior graduation will take on a new look thanks to a change in venue.
The current plan that we have finally signed a contract for is being able to use the Alamo Dome for graduation. This is allowing us to do all of our kids at one time. It does come with a few changes from what we used to do. One of them is the ceremonies are a little bit shorter, so ceremonies will be an hour and a half. The other thing is they already have the Alamo Dome set up with seats spaced out to make sure everybody has social distancing between families. Because of that, the big change will be this year, students will get 6 tickets for family members to be able to come.
Another change to this year's ceremony would be the parking situation at the Alamo Dome.
Parking at the Alamo Dome is a little bit tougher. They only have so much parking, and so every car is $20. Whether seniors come with or without family members. So we're going to highly encourage that seniors ride with their family.
Despite the changes, seniors have been able to see the bright sides to having an in-person graduation.
I mean, considering the Alamo Dome houses 72,000 people, I think that we could space out people pretty good. So I guess it's good that we have a big space for graduation. Plus each student only gets 6 tickets. So it's good that they're limiting how many people can come.
And any students or parents with safety concerns should rest easy knowing that both the district and the Alamo Dome are doing their best to ensure the safety of all attendees.
Everybody coming in will have done the self-screen, but you will also get your temperature checked. And so to be able to come in, you will have to not have a temperature. If they don't meet the necessary number, then they will not be able to come in. And then, like I said, we're keeping 6-foot separation for all the graduates on the floor. Everybody will wear a mask, both in the crowd and on the floor.
For JAG TV, I'm Eduardo Meza-Ricobert.
Next week is end-of-course testing, along with the start of AP testing. Audrey Warmke tells us more about what that would look like on campus.
Students are having to take the STAR EOC exams after the test was waived last year, and there are a few changes.
STAR test and EOCs are, of course, a bit different this year with us having students both in person and virtual instruction. So we have been inviting our virtual students to come back for testing because it is really important for high schoolers because STAR EOC exams are part of the graduation requirement.
The recent English EOC testing has shown that this different way of testing went well.
I know that it's a 5-hour test, and I think that can be challenging, but I liked how there was a break, a scheduled break for lunch, and then students went into the STAR test knowing what exactly was expected of them as far as time-wise. So I thought it was really well organized. I didn't really run into any issues.
And if a student did not come in and take their EOC this semester, there's a makeup date offered during the summer.
So most definitely we want the kids to take it now because they have the material for this year. I know that they have the option to do it in the summer or next fall, but by next fall that material won't be with them. So we obviously encourage them.
Students who recently took the English 1 or 2 EOC say that prep has helped them succeed.
I think Mr. Tobias did a good job of preparing us, because 2 weeks before the test actually happened, all we did was STAR prep, so that definitely helped out a lot.
We know our teachers have been working hard with students to prepare them, and we'd like for them to take their exams this spring while all the content and curriculum is still fresh on their minds.
We're actually seeing they're retaining a lot of information. So you guys, students, have just been rocking out content, whether you're virtual or in person.
May will bring another week of end-of-course testing for all grades except seniors.
So just like how we had makeups for English, we will have makeups for our May exams as well. They'll be online only that following week. And then we also will have the June testing is available for every subject of EOC.
For JAG TV, this has been Aubrey Warmke.
While May will be full of a lot of end-of-year events, prom won't be one of them. Preston has more.
Administration has finally announced that there will not be a CTG prom this year, mostly because of occupancy regulations due to COVID.
At this moment, no. And probably not going to be able to have happen. Both a couple of reasons. One, here in Bexar County in the city, pretty much every facility is still following occupancy rules. Some are 25%, some are 50% on how many people they can have in. So trying to find somewhere that will hold upwards of 800 to 1,200 people and still be able to follow all the rules of social distancing is we haven't been able to find. They don't have availability. So it's kind of that double-edged sword. So right now, to have one in the city in the Northeast, you would still have to follow all the rules, like what we're doing at graduation. Yes. We're at the Alamo Dome mainly because they can seat everybody, 800 graduates, 6 feet apart, and they're still only going to allow about 7,000 people in there, even though it holds 60,000. Yeah. So there's still all those rules that we're having to follow.
Seniors like Isabella Emmons knew this was coming.
Really sad that I won't be able to have prom for my senior year, but I understand that we all need to stay safe to protect everybody. And just maybe go to dinner with a couple of friends.
The campus is canceled. Groups are hosting private proms. You can find that story on myjagnews.com. For JAG TV, this has been Preston Martinez.
April is Military Child Month, and Johnson honored the month by wearing purple on April 15th to celebrate the children of those who have served. Ethan tells us more.
April is Military Child Month, and while many understand how tough it can be to serve, military children have their own experiences as well. Senior Mason Sparrow's dad has served in the Army.
I think it's definitely made me better at socializing with people. It's made me realize that I need to have confidence in myself if I want to be able to adapt and change to the different situations that I'm put in.
Junior Christopher Wills' mom and dad and stepdad also served in the Army.
I'd say it's been harder because we had to do a lot of moving and that required me to make new friends and stuff. But when I was in middle school, my mom had to go to work. My dad had to go to work, so I had to come home and stay there until they got back.
Students from military families do recognize that their perspective is unique.
I think it means that I have a lot of pride in my country. I'm really patriotic because I recognize the sacrifice of not only those who have served, those who gave their lives, but also the people that are behind them, their families, and what they have to go through as well.
It's good to know there's an awareness for it, where military kids could be talked about and then helped. I felt welcome. It's good to know that people were nice to me. They asked me where I came from. When they found out I was a military kid, and they're like, "Oh, that's crazy. I know a friend who's a military kid." So, yeah, they were all kind and nice.
On April 15th, faculty were encouraged to wear purple to show support for military-connected students. From JAG TV, this has been Ethan Blanchett.
April is also Volunteer Month, and for 2 students, that meant time creating masks that could be distributed to those who need them.
I have a bunch of masks that I sewed myself.
I volunteer for an organization called the Superhero Volunteer Mask Makers for San Antonio teachers and students.
If somebody messes up their current mask, they can go down to the nurses, and instead of just getting a paper mask that can easily fall apart, you can keep a really nicely made mask.
Before the year is over, one group of students is working to get certified in a needed health occupation. Here's more. One group of students on campus is working towards getting a unique certification.
These are actually the people in the hospital whose sole purpose is to draw blood, because we're certifying them right out of high school.
So I think it's important to get your foot in the door now and start with phlebotomy, because it expands into a lot of medical careers.
But getting their certification requires the help of some brave volunteers.
Each student has to get 30 venipunctures, and all they need to do is find the vein, draw the blood, and get a flash of blood. We're not filling tubes like you would in the hospital.
It's going to allow us to get better each time with our communication and our skills, and it's going to better prepare us for the work field.
And with their goal within reach, you can help clinical students become certified in phlebotomy.
And students can come in during class Tuesday, Thursdays, 10 to 1. Before school, we will start setting up at around 9:20. Already, I've had students come by and ask me about it. There are students who are wanting to, which we're super excited, because you are helping students obtain an awesome certification in high school. You can email myself, Ms. Damasco or Ms. Jacobs, because you have to sign a waiver. You have to be 16 or older.
For JAG TV, this has been Rain Antunes. The school news site celebrated its 10-year anniversary in 2020 and has become a template for sites all across the district. Yet, it has always been a tool undervalued by students until recently. Here's Angie Vasquez with the story.
When you're spending time on your phone, student journalists would like it if you check out the online campus news site, myjagnews.com.
Our website, it gets updated almost every day or every other day at this point. And essentially, what I'm trying to make us focus on is features and editorials and stuff.
But despite the abundance of information it provides, knowledge of the site or even of its importance has left it unappreciated.
So I feel like people don't think it's a necessity in a way to, look up the newspaper to find out what's going on, because, you hear things, you know the things that you want to know. There's no reason for the school newspaper, is what they would think.
News sites that are relevant and unbiased are very important. And I feel like that you guys work really hard to make sure that our news site is unbiased and that you provide information that's relevant to them. And to me, that's important that they understand where they could go look for news like that.
The school newspaper, the way it's set up over here, it's very professional in a way. So we get interviews from the actual teachers, the actual students, We get from the nurse, from outside sources, the superintendents, I believe we've gotten interviews from them. And another thing that we can't do is be biased about the news, because that's yellow journalism. That's not how news works. So everything we say is, in fact, what's really going on. And it's not just another rumor that's going around.
However, a recent spike in viewership can be attributed to teachers adding an incentive for students to get involved.
So I used our school newspaper as a way, having them go evaluate a news source and provide that information to me. So I had them comment on any article they felt was relevant. And I also had them then come back to me saying, was this information found in another source? Was this information relevant based on, different guidelines that I set up, so that they would know how to evaluate a online source.
For JAG TV, this has been Angie Vasquez.
If you're looking for a new spot to explore on the weekend, it's time to check out the latest updates to Hardburger Park. Talia takes us there.
Hardburger Park has provided its visitors with access to trails, dog parks, picnic facilities, and many other amenities since 2010. However, its location between Wurzbach Parkway has been an obstacle for visitors to access both sides of the park. The newly opened land bridge is meant to fix just that. The 150 feet long land bridge is completed with noise-canceling walls that allow visitors a peaceful stroll as they continue to explore the park. The new project also features an 18-foot tall skywalk, which offers a unique view of the wildlife and the tree canopy, offering about 1,000 feet of free passage. Throughout the pandemic, the Harburger Park has provided visitors a peaceful, safe escape, and Disneyland Bridge provides more accessibility to the park's 311 acres. For JAG TV, this is Talia Pimienta.
Now here's something fun from our crew. That's all for this week, Jags. From our studio at A128, I'm Rain Antunes. See you next time.